I finally got frustrated and I started thinking outside the box and got rid of this so-called cold, warm, and hot lead system. So if you're still using this, this is the thing of the past. Warm is dead, cold is dead, and hot is dead. Don't try to rank your leads using cold, warm, and hot. It's overly complicated, and you end up spending 2, 3, 4 hours with people that you think that is warm and hot, but actually they're cold. All right, what's up, guys? I'm jumping back on here today to talk about something that is very, very special and changed the game for me completely. And I want to talk about what it is not. Well, it is not this ancient art and this overly complicated industry standard of actually getting leads. Cold, warm, and hot. If you're still doing this, this is a thing of the past. About 2 years ago, I started building and scaling my team, and I just found that it was really, really hard to train somebody to understand what a seller was saying and where they were on the funnel. Like if they were more of a hot lead, if they're more of a warm lead, if they're more of a cold lead. It was so hard for me to train what that sounded like whenever they didn't have 1,000 reps, 2,000 reps, 3,000 reps. They weren't experienced, but yet I'm building a team of virtual assistants. And then that's when I finally got frustrated and I started thinking outside the box and got rid of this so-called cold, warm, and hot lead system. All right. So if you're still using this, this is the thing of the past. Warm is dead, cold is dead, and hot is dead. Don't try to rank your leads using cold, warm, and hot. It's overly complicated, and you end up spending 2, 3, 4 hours with people that you think that is warm and hot, but actually they're cold. And that's where I came across and we created what we train our team with now. It's the Bullseye Marketing Method, right? Like this is the thing, guys, because whenever you start to learn and study marketing, which I did not know, instead I just paid, real estate gurus, 20, 40, $50,000, and I joined multiple of them, and they all fed me the same stuff. I would never say that it wasn't worth the money because I've made my money back tenfold. However, they never taught me how to actually scale a business. And they never actually taught me how to market and how to generate leads and convert them to deals. So when you look at your operation and you break it into 4 buckets, you've got your stage 1, your communication. This is something that I think that everybody overlooks unless you're actually pumping out data. All right. If you are getting a large list and let's just say, the list is 1,000 or 5,000 records in a county or in a city, and you're running through that list, cold calling or texting or trying to just, find somebody, figure out how to get in touch with them. The issues inside of stage 1 is you don't know how to contact them. So you don't even know which phone number is the correct one. You don't know which email is the correct one. You don't know which mailing address is the correct one. And you run into all those issues in stage 1. So that's the bucket. And then if you look at it as, hey, this list is stage 1 list, I need to go in there and clean it. Well, now you can understand what bulk marketing is for. And I see so many people, I fell in this trap too, where like I'm paying for a dialer or I'm paying for like launch control, which is like, I don't know, $600 a month. And we're blasting out, texts, and we're getting a hold of people, we're getting leads, we're getting deals. But at the same time, I didn't get to clean my list. Like we didn't get anything built up over time. So that's the reason, we started really putting some thought into this Bullseye Marketing Method. And with stage 1, our entire goal there is to find the correct phone number, the correct email, the correct address. And once we find that, now we move them into the Bullseye Marketing. Bullseye meaning every time I contact this person, I don't have to worry about, is the phone number disconnected? Is the phone number dead? Is the phone number wrong? Is it their neighbor? Is it their daughter? Is it their son? I don't have to worry about those things because in stage one, my team, the lowest quality team members, have already verified that, right? We call those people prospectors, right? Like there's prospectors, there's lead managers, and there's closers. Sometimes you might, throw in a setter, right? So lead manager, you can break that into two different categories as well. You have your, you bottom tier lead manager, and then you have what's called a setter who's actually setting that appointment. Okay. But in stage one, you can burn through your phone numbers. You can burn through your actual system. And it's kind of dangerous, especially in today's world, right? I mean, texting is almost illegal, especially if you don't get opt-in. And then after you figure out the correct phone number, now we move them into Bullseye Marketing. And there's two stages in Bullseye Marketing. And you got to understand that now we identified how to contact the seller, how to contact them every time. That way we can follow up with them. And it doesn't have to be us, the entrepreneur or the owner, spending time to do that, because I also know that that lead isn't high quality. Instead, that lead is least aware, meaning they own a property. We know how to contact them. We've identified all those things, but they're not a motivated seller. And then we can move into most aware, stage 3, most aware. Most aware, we've identified some type of pain. And because we identified some type of pain, now we start to nurture them more and more and more. And we also put our better setters on those leads, right? If not closers. And then once they're in the most aware, this is where we really start to build relationships with them, because after all, over 80% of all sales are made after the 5th follow-up. But so many people only follow up one time. If they even follow up one time, they get a hold of them and they never call them back. And most of the reason you don't ever call them back is because you don't know who to call back, because it's too much to keep track of. Like I used to have like a notebook in my truck, and I would go to work, and like that's where I kept owners' names and phone numbers and their addresses, and I would follow up with them while I'm on my breaks. But it was so complicated to follow up with them. Not only that, but anytime I started paying for inbound marketing, meaning I was sending out direct mail, and anytime I received a phone call on that number, like I needed to answer it right then and there. And a lot of times because I was working, I would miss that, right? And then it runs into the issue of who do I follow up with when I get home or get on a break, right? You got to know these things. And if you have these 4 buckets, it makes your lead management system so smooth, because in this stage 3, now you can push them straight to stage 4 conversion, where you're actually getting them up on a contract. And now your closer is working on them, but your closer is only focused on leads that are the most motivated. And not only is the lead most motivated, but the actual property itself is a good property. Like it's a deal. And you know that because inside of stage 2 and stage 3, you train a team to actually do all that work for you and fill all that stuff out. All right. And this stuff, we go deep in this. We go deep into this inside the company. And anyway, Thursday, I'm gonna be going even deeper into this and actually showing you how to actually implement this, because this right here, I promise you, like you can go set this up on your own, but it's way more to it than just these 4 buckets. Like we're talking about actual follow-up systems. And let me give you a little peek. All right. So we got these little pop-up things, right? Most aware now is pumping out some gold. All right. I had to play around a little bit. All right. So if we were training your setter or your lead manager, the first thing they need to identify is what type of conversation they're having. And we rank those conversations. So in each stage, there's multiple mini stages. And those mini stages are nothing more than, hey, I talked to Bob, and the conversation I had with Bob was this. So for instance, like a really popular one is a dreamer. All right. A dreamer is least aware. Okay. A dreamer sounds like this. Yeah, I'm going to talk to you. And then you ask them, hey, how much do you want for your property? Oh, give me $350. And then you pull it up really quick and you look at this estimate, or you look, wherever you're pulling your quick and dirty at, and the property's worth like 120. All right, that's a dreamer, right? Yeah, they would take that probably, or they're just like pulling your leg. Most likely, they don't want to sell at all, or they really do not trust you. And very rarely, if somebody's actually motivated, are they just going to continuously blow you off and continuously spit out a high number? Like if they're actually in the market to sell, then they're going to talk to you and try to get an actual offer out of you. And then we call that a fisherman, right? So that would be another least aware. But in the fisherman stage, it would sound like, well, just make me an offer. Well, just make me an offer, right? And they're just like, well, and they're fishing. They're just fishing, but there's no pain there. And either you're either one, not good enough on the phone, or two, there is no pain to be had and they're just fishing, right? But I know plenty of people that, they just want to know how much their property's worth. If they received a phone call from somebody and they're interested in buying the property, they're probably not even interested in selling it, but they would hear a number because it would make them feel good, right? And if you offered them a number that made them feel good, like, that they accomplished what they wanted to accomplish, but they're still not a seller, right? And I'm hanging out right here in this least aware area. All right, now most aware, this is where we identified some pain. And now that we identified some pain, now we're spending more time with them. So we're following up with them either daily or every 3 days or every 10 days. And we're having really good conversations. We're providing support. We're providing help. Like we work with a lot of foreclosures in this stage where, they're getting documents, etc. And then you roll into stage 4 conversion. Now I want to point out the 5 stages of grief down here, because this will identify what that conversation sounds like. And if you've got enough reps to understand what the seller's conversation sounds like, you can really start to understand if you should spend time with this person. I teach my team that they should really be on and off of the phone within 3 to 5 minutes, meaning they should have a long enough conversation to figure out where they're at and rank them, but that conversation be short enough in order to move to the next one, because either way, they will not be able to close that seller, right? Because they don't have the skills. And then we would have a setter or a higher caliber lead manager follow them back up, or even a closer, right? So in any one of these stages, even stage 1, a lead can absolutely go from stage 1 straight to stage 4. However, 99% of all of your leads will not. They will have to go through all of these because people just don't trust you, right? And because they don't trust you, that's one of my team members now chatting in. Because people don't trust you, they need to spend a little bit more time with you and get to know you. Now, if we looked at the actual system, this is literally our system. And this tells my team exactly what they're doing, right? It ranks the conversation, and then also it assigns them a follow-up, right? And then we run into stage 3, and then we run into stage 4, and then stage 4, we break that up into other 3 phases, all the way to a contract. All right. But anyway, hopefully you got something out of this. This is the Bullseye Marketing System. It's we've got this built already inside of a business, and we can literally plug you right into this operation. If that's something you would like, the link's in the comments. Just jump in there, and I'm gonna go deeper into this, and I'm gonna show you how you can actually tactically do this in the future. That way, either you're a one-man show now, or maybe you already have a team. But either way, marketing, consistent marketing that's actually pumping out every day, that you don't have to figure out who you should talk to, when you should talk to them. It's the key to actually scaling and actually getting consistent deal flow. If you're interested, check it out.